Morning, who that? We're the Don. Good morning, sir. Trying to get this. Trying to get this elevator music off. Give me a second. Finally. I know. It's giving me the biggest issues right now with that. I don't know why. It was working last night. So I was vibing to that music. Oh yeah. Well, I'll let it rock for a little bit longer. Hold on. Stop by adding this device in PlayStation 4 on the system. Select settings, mobile app. Yada McYada. Give me a second. What is it again? Select settings. Take your time. Try restarting the app. I did that too. I did that already as well on my phone. I'm loading up another device. I'm loading up another one of my devices. Just give me a second. Seems like we good. Yeah, I'm on the Apple devices. That's all I got. I'm an Apple head. I've never had an Android yet. Here we go though. I got it. And I appreciate you guys' patience. Thank you. I mean, yeah. There's a million other streamers that would have just left that shit. They would have turned down the volume for themselves on the TV. They didn't have to hear it. They leave y'all with it. You know, I go through the valley. You know, I am low. For the team that I know. Yeah. Now, of course, I got to reset up everything. No. Some of this is still in here. That's good. Battle rap, yeah. Yeah, I saw what you wrote. We met on iBattle. It's kind of weird. Because I don't even remember what iBattle is. And you was asking me, and I'm like, I don't know either. You're just somebody that's on my list, and I've been shooting that invite like, okay, we're close friends. I see the real picture. Concrete Junglist. Who is that? And you asking me, I figured you know who I was. Let's get reacquainted. How you doing? I'm having a dual conversation. You should come in here and text. And I don't know why I have, for the life of me. Fatigue is my analysis. Fatigue? I know who you are now. I know who you are. I figured it out. Yeah, that's why you were helping me out with the second screen, and you understood this, that, and the third. You stream too, and you do the beats. You be doing jams. I've chilled with you a couple times, and then I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna shoot him a friend request. Plenty of times. I sat here and smoked 2 blunts back to back. Just you up on there scratching away, doing the cuts. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's who you are. And that's who I am. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, but for the life of me, right? I don't know why. Fellow streamer like yourself, and probably been streaming as long, if not longer than you. Because you've been around for a minute, and so have I. The fuck? I don't know why. I send out a broadcast invite, somebody accepts it, and its broadcast has ended. You got an answer for that? What is up with that? That's been going on for like 5 years. Yo, I got the broadcast invite, but it says broadcast has ended. Nah, bro, I'm live right now. Go look on the tiles. You know anything about that? And good morning, sir. Glad to finally catch up with you. Yeah, you normally just be having a session going, doing your damn thing. I think I asked you for a request once or twice. I normally just leave it to you because you be having the underground cuts and a lot of shit I ain't heard. I don't know, maybe it was super private or something. Yeah, I don't know. I did for 5 years though. For 5 years, I've been dealing with that. All my friends tell me that. Yo, I got the invite, but it says that the broadcast has ended. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm sitting right here. Ain't shit ended. So yeah, you're that guy. I was wondering my damn self. I really didn't know. Off back, like really. I just knew. I seen the avatar. I said, well, you know, fuck, we know each other. Who is this guy? Yeah, well, I'm one of your viewers. That's who I am. And if you never recognized me all this time, well, it's okay. It's all good. Wait, you're from the bird. No. Bird. What a bird. We spoke about real deal. I went to high school in Lansingburg. I mean, does that help? I went to high school upstate Lansingburg. They look at me as a teacher somewhat out here, but not real teacher with a classroom and all that. Hold on. Hold on. You see? Oh yeah. Well, you know, we number one. We number one in the league right now. So, and yeah, me, I got 4 different football teams: Patriots, Steelers, Seahawks, and the Giants. So, on any given Sunday, who's ever doing good, you know, I rock with them like that. When my teams meet up, like when Patriots end up meeting up with the Steelers or whatever, it's, you know, may the best team win. But I think you might have me a little confused with the whole teacher thing. I'm not. You said Berg. All that means to me is Lansingburg. Now, if you write back, yeah, Lansingburg, I'll be like, oh shit, damn, we really know each other. We might have to start all over from the top. And I've been in Lyrical Lounge. Lyrical Lounge's streams. I was the one that hung with them all the time. For mad other MCs. I'm sure we've somehow, some way crossed paths before. But in a good way, of course. Yeah, I don't think we actually ever spoke unless we met in like Lyrical Lounge's room. You know, Doomface Killer. He's one of the originator DJs on here. Hey, Muir the Don, you still with us or what? What you got going on? He kind of lost. Son texting me on the inbox, so I'm just responding to him that way. You still got that elevator music on loop. It's me. Slow down, baby. Equipped Thule. Let me get into this Friday morning political digest. We ain't plan on putting out too much time. Before we get into it, let me check. Make sure the motherfuckers ain't got me sitting with like 30 views but 0 ahead type shit. My haters might be up early. Haha, yeah. When I ride my shit in my lap, little nigga fuck reaching up under the seat. How you a gangster with nigga in high school? You was one of them niggas. Most of these niggas out here still kill, but they don't mean shit. Most of these niggas out here got guns, but they don't mean shit. Niggas still get beat. Most of these niggas out here got heat, but still get beat. Boy, they still weak. Trying too hard just to be street. I'ma go on your jaw. You stuff my feet, boy, they ain't sweet. Shit like this, stay on my song. Put in my beats, trying to right my wrongs, so I stay out the street. I right my wrong. Got my heat, little bitch, respect me when I speak. Yo, nigga get nervous when he see me. Wake up my daughter, see me on TV. Her boyfriend mad, he just wanna feed me. A show in Hawaii, and they know my city. No Debo bitch, we call her D. And my BDB chain filled up with BB. I'm getting racks, still eating that CC. You know I'm sleep, soon as you see me. You can get stoned for acting like you know me. I know plugs that still owe me. I never ride by my loan. When I ride, that's my own. When I shoot, I'm hit my opponent. Walk this smoke, let's get shit rolled. Got a gun so big, little nigga couldn't hold it. When I ride, my shit in my lap, little nigga fuck reaching up under the seat. How you a gangster, but nigga in high school, you was one of them niggas I used to beat. Most of these niggas out here say good, but they don't mean shit. Fuck niggas still weak. Most of these niggas out here got guns, but they don't mean shit. Niggas still get beat. When I ride, my shit in my lap, little nigga fuck reaching up under the seat. How you a gangster, but nigga in high school, you was one of them niggas I used to beat. Most of these niggas out here say drugs, but they don't mean shit. Fuck niggas still weak. Most of these niggas out here got guns, but they don't mean shit. Niggas still get beat. I shoot up the club, I shoot up the street. These niggas like gangsta, ain't never been street. So low for the club, that much shit to me. You can still get raw.
Fuck around, got blood all on my teeth. Girl, C21, need to see ID. Fuck around with me, he gon' need ID. Bitch, I went to gang, just shout out to the kid. And I grew up on Sherwood, shout out to the T. She was my first strap at age 15. Got racks in the pistol and run somebody change my arm so long like I'm Kenny. I mean, yo, bitch, let me fuck, I ain't know her name. I do this for racks, she do this for fun. Take your hair on my head, they gon' bust your brain. Between her legs, like it's on her brain. Trevor got dope, little news, got cane. He bought ass stick to it, where did we chain? When I was beef with a lane. Since I pop, put dirt on my name. He went in the head, cut all in the rain. Definitely the reef for the PDB chain. Put your wrist up, send you back where you came. Must won't claim, I'ma be on my name. When I ride my shit in my lap, little nigga fuck reaching up under a seat. How you a gangster, but nigga in high school, you was one of them niggas I used to beat. Most of these niggas out here secure, but they don't mean shit, fuck niggas still weak. Most of these niggas out here got guns, but they don't mean shit, niggas still get beat. When I ride my shit in my lap, little nigga fuck reaching up under a seat. How you a gangster, but nigga in high school, you was one of them niggas I used to beat. Most of these niggas out here secure, but they don't mean shit, fuck niggas still weak. Most of these niggas out here got guns, but they don't mean shit, niggas still get beat.
Hey. Check this out, right? Peep the shit I made last night. There you go, so right. Full flip. There you go. San Francisco 49 gang, look. So you have a desk now? Washington football team gave us that, right? Good morning, sir. I've been at a desk. Hey. This the Space Invaders. This the two-player Space Invaders classic, you feel me? Video game table from like 1980 something. The power, you know what I'm saying? Official shit. Power button on the side and all that. Yeah, this what I've been sitting at. I just moved the camera. See, look, here go the normal view you would have seen. Here's what y'all normally used to seeing, alright? Boom. And then that, you won't see the table, and I'll be sitting here, right? On some shit like, yo, You know what I mean? It's all good. You know what I'm saying? Each wall around this bitch is decorated, so no matter which way I spin it, you know what I'm saying? Some official shit, like even this one behind me, they got the closet and all that shit in it. But yeah, ain't nothing but the angles, you know what I mean? I'm on my Drake shit, you know what I'm saying? We working the angles, man. But look, right, check this shit out. Look at this shit I made last night for the gram, though. I said I was gonna do it, so I did it, though. Good morning, man. Alright. Dangerous vibes. will grant you a warrior's death. Mortal Kombat. And y'all don't want to see us. San Fran don't want to see the Steelers. Better hope it never happened in any way. Or the Pats again. Stay clear of the Seahawks. Y'all got a chance with the Giants. Maybe. But what's good, man? What's good? Yeah, that was jackpot. That was jackpot and Trapjaw. It was on the Killer Instinct shit. Figured I'd capture the moment and all that. Alright, man, let's see what. Like I said, Morning Digest. Let me see what's shaking all things politics. To those that it matters and shit. Matters to 9 out of 10 of us. You made a $20 bet with a coworker. He's a Cowgirls fan. Always bet against the Cowgirls. Heard it was a good game yesterday or something. Chargers and the Raiders, they tied up and then broke it by the field goal for the Chargers. I didn't get to see it, but sound decent. The summarization of what's going on.
The details. President Trump throws a giant bomb into the mix and asking for increased stimulus checks of $2,000. Nearly derailed the entire negotiations. Senator Josh Hawley could be taking the floor of the Senate this afternoon to demand increased stimulus checks. All of this is fluid right now, so we will be covering all of that on the show today. Democrats are taking millions of dollars from war companies, war profiteering companies. So if you're sitting at home thinking, hey, Democrats are fine, Republicans are the crappy ones. No, these corporate Democrats are also to blame. We're going to tell you how many millions of dollars these Democrats have been taking, and no wonder these big companies continue to get bailout dollars. Eviction moratoriums are out, and millions of people are facing
How are you cooling?
And landlords should be ashamed of themselves. They are
getting that Morning Digest. I always listen to this every morning, 9 o'clock. So
basically, they're able to go around these eviction
share that with y'all.
I won't tell you how they're doing it, these sneaky little bastards. Good to see you on this Friday. Grover is joining me today instead of in
Big Crash back in the house.
On my lap
he quit too late.
He's been writing the newsletter.
Morning, sir.
Everything else. So he is. He's going to be sitting here, I think, maybe during the show.
Today.
We'll see.
Thank God it's Friday. Let's get this Morning Digest on.
Sit with you, Daddy.
Figure out what's going on with the country and all that.
All right. So don't touch any buttons, okay, buddy?
Have a wake and bake, chill. We ain't here to complain, cause no strife.
And stream. David.
Good morning.
We chilling.
Yeah, he just like.
Man, you know, remember Chili the Penguin?
This button here.
That's us. I got the hat and everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the end stream button. You get comfortable, buddy? Okay. I hope everyone's doing well today in the chat. Let me know
Me
if
too.
you are new
Hope
here.
everybody's doing well today in the chat.
We do the show every morning live at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And by the way, right after
country
today's
is
show,
fucked.
we're going to be doing something special.
The country been fucked.
Hey,
We're gonna see for, you know what I'm saying? They can get us,
welcome
take
back
us
to
out on a
today's
date
show.
with all
We're
this
gonna be doing
fuckery.
a live premiere of our new Medicare for All video. And so I want all of you to come over there
People
right
need
after today's
provisions.
show and join us. We'll be in the chat together.
People need relief.
Jennifer Smith says, okay, guys, update. I was permanently laid off.
Everybody's
yesterday.
not.
I kind of knew it would happen. I'm sad.
Ridiculously
that I had stuff in the
rich
pipeline,
and
so
shit.
we'll be okay. I love my job though, so I'm good at it. I'm sorry to hear that, Jennifer. Yes, as these unemployment
see
numbers
you back,
continue to
man.
rise, they continue to go up. This morning we have higher unemployment numbers. The data is particularly troubling, especially.
And this is
because
in case you
these
ever want to
companies,
listen on your own or whatever.
with
He's a good
unemployment
dude.
benefits running out at the
Morning
same time as
Invest
these unemployment-
is
as
the
these,
name of his
layoffs
channel,
continue to
YouTube.
rise.
But he used to be one of the news reporters.
Let me know how many new people we've got here on the show today. Oh, by the way, David, I know you're a fan of the Beatles. As am I. I've got my my Beatles coasters.
Nice. Oh, those are cool. Those glass?
No, they're just like shiny cork, I think. And but I got
Invest.
every album cover.
Morning
Where
Invest.
did you get those?
In space
I got
on the
them
words
at
morning
Christmas.
and then
My wife got them a
invest.
few years ago. I got a couple more of them floating around here, but I don't know where they are. I'm trying to keep them away from Grover because
You know,
he
he's
chewed
not
cork. So we had some
Democratic,
cork
Republican.
chewed right
He's
through.
more
Like,
so
"Don't touch
neutral
my
and
Beatles
independent.
ones.
A lot of the people I
Hands
listen
off,
to are.
paws off.
I listen to some Republicans. I listen to some Democrats. Democrats just get a full
I don't drink a beer.
spectrum of
It
everything.
does look
No,
like
yeah,
Guinness.
It does look like Guinness, but this is an iced coffee that I made myself. It has that little nice froth to the top of it because I make it with an espresso machine. I am sorry to hear about these layoffs, of course.
At 9
How was
o'clock
the
in the
stream?
morning here in
The
Mountain,
stream today.
here in the Colorado mountains,
Looking good on my
is what
end.
I'm on.
Hey, Maria Davis. You love the Beatles as well. We are big Beatles fans around here. You bought the Sgt. Pepper 60s album this summer at the local flea market. That's awesome. The original vinyl?
5 minutes till the show really starts. This is like, you know what
So
I
this
mean?
is what he does in the
Chill
morning
talk in the
when
lobby
writing the
before he
newsletter.
gets to his key
He
matters.
sleeps, he like puts his head on my one arm, so it's very difficult for me to type. It's not easy. It's not very easy. But he's like, hey, this is my spot. Just let me be, buddy. Sit here like this.
And in 4 minutes, we're going to go members only. You want to talk about that?
Yes. So right here's how you become a member. Go to morninginvest.com/join. Look, we are a show that is not run by the mainstream media. We are independently owned and operated. We don't answer to billionaire corporate overlords that tell us what stories to cover. Because if we did, we wouldn't be able to cover half
It's
the
a
stories we
summarization.
do on the show. So when you support our show, you are supporting independent journalism. And so it's very easy to do for like the price of a cup of coffee. Just go to morninginvest.com/join. I've got a dog to feed. And for the price of a cup of coffee, you can support our show and all of the things that we continue to do to grow this show. So we've grown tremendously, I would say, over the past year, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. And it's only $1.99, and we could have made it so that it was more, but that's the lowest YouTube would let us make it. So, you know, and you can cancel at any time, and that's all through YouTube. So it connects to Apple Pay and all that stuff. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, and so if you want to become a channel member, that's great. You can still watch the show without becoming a channel member, but if you'd like to
Right.
participate in the chat, we do this as the
Right.
show begins.
Right, right. So like what he has
Yeah,
right
and
now,
as a
also-
I can chat up.
Yeah.
You'll
and
see
as a
blunt
non-member, you still
mover,
can actually
grave
ask questions.
circumstances.
If you send a super chat, your question can still
But like
come
as soon as
through,
he goes
just so you know.
members live,
So you're not blocked from.
Boom,
I mean,
chat's cut off.
You guys should see chat when it's not members only. It's out of control.
It explodes.
And, yeah, we just can't moderate it, and it just becomes a bad experience. So members only makes it a better experience. But if you still have a question that you really want to get through and potentially get answered, can't promise you're gonna answer every question, but you can send a super chat and it will still.
I was gonna reach out to him and offer to be a moderator. I said, maybe another time. A lot of people got on YouTube.
A lot of people
Cortini says,
A lot of people that got on YouTube that blew up within the last year, within the entire pandemic and everything that's happened. They're not fully, familiar with YouTube and the features.
And you can subscribe there. Somebody's also asking, do we have a Twitch channel, or should we start a Twitch channel? We do. We have a brand new Twitch channel.
We're actually streaming on it right now.
On Twitch. Yeah,
And he's one of, like I
I
said,
actually have it. So
6 different
the thing
people I
about Twitch
listen
is
to.
When the channel's offline, if you have other streamers, you can stream their channel. So I stream your show on my channel too, while we're live here, and it's called hosting. So that's pretty cool. So we will be setting more things up over on Twitch. It's just getting it all set up right now because I got to do a header, got to do images and all that stuff, and just kind of brand it.
If I would have had my account with Twitch and been running since way back when, what was that, 2015? Probably been able to do some sort of thing with
I
them.
want you guys to send us some photos of yourselves. If you guys buy any of our merchandise, we have a lot of people who have. I've been asking for photos. Maybe you guys are just shy. But we've got our Morning Invest sweatshirts, our hoodies. We've got our mugs, our Grover mugs. So here's Pam Jessamine, her photo with her mug. Here's Nancy with her Morning Invest hoodie and her Don't Be a D face mask. So all you need to do to get to the store is just go to morninginvest.com/store. We have some great new stuff in there as well.
What'd you do to trolls last night, Clayton? Says I like how you put the trolls in check last night.
Well, last night I did the live stream, and literally the title of the live stream was Stimulus Update.
And a troll said to him, clickbait.
All the details. Because we had a lot of new update information yesterday on the stimulus update. So that was the update. And my thumbnail was of me sitting here with nothing. It said stimulus update, all the details. And someone wrote, this is clickbait. And I just was like so pissed. I'm like, you know what? And sometimes, the Philadelphia comes out of me. I'm just like, give me a break. Like, hey, you want? And I said, you know what I'm going to do? Either one way I'm going to do it is like I'm going to go the complete opposite way and start doing clickbait thumbnails where I say, you're going to receive $10,000. It's coming today. Like these little dweebs that have like a pit. Or I'm going to do the opposite, which is.
You can tell he's old school. He just called somebody a dweeb.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Invest. We've got a busy show. I was interrupted by my show open. We were talking about dealing with trolls on the show. But hey, welcome to the show. I'll get back to that in a second. Coming up on today's program,
trolls?
Trump nearly blows up the stimulus negotiations by calling for $2,000 stimulus checks. Yeah, that happened, and it's still unfolding because now it's emboldened a number of members of Congress to ask for more. So we'll tell you who is going to go to the floor of Congress today and demand more stimulus check money. But yeah, boy, you do not need this at the last moment from as Congress is inching its way closer to getting a stimulus plan through. Democrats are taking millions of dollars from war profiteering companies. Oh, if you just thought it was Republicans, you are wrong. That's why if you watch our show, you know that we are equal opportunity offenders. You will not see what we do here on mainstream media. If you flip on your little MSNBC and watch Rachel Maddow, you're not going to see her ever talking about Democrats taking money from war companies. No,
Time killer, what up?
You're not going to see her calling for Medicare for all, like we will. Yeah, they'll just continue to bash Trump every night. And if you turn on the other conservative networks, you're not going to see them talking about how crappy Republicans are in this entire process. How Mitch McConnell, the only reason we have stimulus checks in this entire process is because he's scared of losing power. You will not see a Fox host or anyone else talking about Mitch McConnell. So if you support our show, you're supporting independent journalism, or we will give it to you straight. So please become a channel member. Today is, we just flipped on our members-only chat. So if you want to become a channel member for the price of a cup of iced coffee, you can.
Get it.
Once a month, you can do that. Just go to morninginvest.com/join is how you become a channel
Pineapple
member.
train wreck.
So So I want to tell you real quickly here before we get started about, I forgot to bring this up, but I have our friends over at Paint Your Life are supporting our show today. And this is really cool. I'm trying to get the if I can pull up my web browser here. Just give me a second. Shoot. Wish I would have had this beforehand, but I got sidetracked. There we go. Here we go. Okay, so let me tell you all about this real quick. We'll get to the news here. So Paint Your Life is really awesome, and they're giving you 20% off right now. All you need to do is do the special coupon code, and it's very simple to do that. The coupon code that you're going to want to use to get a painting of your family is simple. You're going to get 20% off by texting the word INVEST to 64,000. So what they do is you send them a photo, and they have an artist hand paint on a canvas beautiful portrait. So we did this one of our family, and it's beautiful. We have it hanging on our wall. Just gorgeous. You want to do your pets, anything like that, an actual artist will do it in about 3 weeks. It's a great Christmas present. Again, text the word INVEST to 64,000 to get 20% off your order at Paint Your Life. Again, we have our family one hanging in our hallway, and it looks gorgeous on canvas. All right, so we're going to get to the news here in a second, but David, right before we were talking
funny,
about
I got into a whole
trolls, and
situation
I said,
with somebody out here behind
night,
that.
we had a troll in our live stream just saying, the title of my video literally was Stimulus Update, All the Details. And the thumbnail was a picture of me. That was it. And someone in the chat just said, "This is clickbait." I said, "Really? Do you even know what clickbait is? Clickbait? Really? Give me a break." And so I said, from now on, I'm just going to either do it one way or the other. I'm going to make a video that just says, like, you're going to get $50,000 this afternoon. A guy is going to come to your house and hand you a bag of money. That's one way to do it. Or the other way is just to have, like, I'll use a period or something, and that's it. That'll be my only title. I'll use I'll use a poop emoji, and that'll be my title. We'll see how many people click on that to watch the show. Is that a good strategy?
That was a funny shit he said last night. It was kind of funny. It was a lot funnier
Maybe you just need to stop saying all the details. It's like, I'm going to give you some.
Right. Just how about some? I won't give you all the details. I'll just give you some of the details.
Yeah. That's less
Grover is here with us. Grover is here on my lap today. He did not want to be put down. He's like acting like a little baby today. He wants to sit here and hear all of this stimulus update and all of what Congress is doing today on the show. David is in the control booth, running the show. Good to see everyone here. Good to see you, my friend. All right, we've got a lot to get to today on the show, so let's get you the very latest on the stimulus news. I'm trying to do this with one hand because I have a dog in the other, so I'm going to have to be switching controls here, a little bit more difficult with Grover today. All right. Well, President Trump, at the last minute, has thrown a wrench into these stimulus talks and COVID relief negotiations. Yes. At the last minute, he decided to stick his neck into this whole thing and threw on a phone call asking for $2,000 a month in stimulus money. So this has made its rounds now in the halls of Congress. Members of Congress, literally freaked out because this was going to throw an entire wrench in the process right before a government shutdown. If you want to think about this right now, they're ironing out the final details of a COVID relief package, and then suddenly somebody sticks their orange head into the mix. It's like, hey, remember me over here at the White House? Yeah, so I was thinking, I was sitting there talking with my girlfriends, and we thought it'd be nice if, we could hand out $2,000 in stimulus checks. What do you guys think? Okay, I'm going to go hit some golf balls. Call me back, okay? That's literally what was going on. Take over the helm of this for a second. I got an important delivery here. Can you take over the helm for a second?
I got it. Yes.
All right. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Stand by.
So I don't know all the details of the stimulus, so I'm not even going to talk about it yet. But good morning, everybody. I just had this up here. If you guys want to become a VIP in chat today, and real quick, I'm David. Some of you might not know me. I have been friends with Clayton for a long time, and I do live stream production. That's like what I do for a living. and I also live stream. And so when he was doing this show, he was like, you know, you guys heard his audio, how echoey it was and stuff at the very beginning. So I just came in as a friend to help him get it all dialed in, and so we've been working on that over time. And so starting in January, we're actually working on a lot of cool stuff that we're going to do. And we started a Discord channel. So if you guys don't know what Discord is a way that we can continue the conversation. And it's a free chat app that you can get. And a lot of the members are in there. It actually can tie to your YouTube membership if you're a member. And we're going to have some members-only groups.
This guy's full
rooms coming up very soon. Just getting that built out. So
he never was really in the show.
Being part of this community, and
he just
Clayton
joined the show as
working
of late.
Together to try to
I guess,
build this community.
Buddy needed help with the workload.
Where you can continue conversations and have conversations about, you know, what's going on without like being civil, because that's the thing. Like most of these other channels, if you go to chat, they just leave it open, and it is not civil.
You've
got people in there arguing,
being civil,
and just saying orange man bad and this man bad, and it's just not a conversation. It's more just like a, I don't know what it is. It's just like a troll central. So we're trying to make it so that it's a better experience for you guys, and that's why we do members only. It's not because we're trying to, you know, grab cash, like some people say. Some people are like, you're squelching my free speech. You won't let me say anything. And it's not like that. We want you guys to say what you want to say and say what you need to say in these discussions.
All right, he said it enough.
It's just really hard
selling it, like,
from this side. You guys don't understand what it's like on this side when you've got thousands of people watching. I mean, we had 11,000 people, 11,500 people watching yesterday, and that's hard to manage. So we've only got 2 moderators plus me moderating. So, you know, we have to take measures to make it a good experience.
Step up your moderating crew.
Hopefully you get on in here and become a member.
Dragonfly.
Well, thank you, my friend.
You're welcome.
Take 2. We had a package emergency.
I downloaded it once. I never really got into it, though.
This guy shows up, and it was very, very important. So
I think in 2021 I'll end up re-downloading that.
There is
since Discord is picking up some.
And I was told explicitly by my wife, if they come, you better not miss it. So okay, got it.
Picking up some runs,
during the
popularity.
It's, crazy. Okay,
so Philip,
so let's take
part out.
Yes. So we will be cutting this out. All right, Grover's back here. Thank you. He's ready. Okay. So let's go back to the drawing board. I want to give you a fresh stimulus update here from the top. Okay. All right. So let's talk stimulus news now. And overnight, we had some pretty big developments from the White House. So the Congress is inching its way closer to getting a stimulus deal completed. Okay. Inching. But they are almost there. So much so that they don't trust themselves. They think, okay, well, we're probably going to have to go another day. So they're going to try to, remember, midnight tonight, the government shuts down. They're going to try to pass a resolution to go a little bit further and to push it into Saturday so they can just finalize everything. So they wanted to do a continuing resolution to keep the government open one more day. And what
I'm going to pay the $1.99 and just come to the, hey, listen, man, I've been moderating for 7 years.
Shove it together with a $1.2 trillion government spending.
A conglomerate of moderators for you, bro.
Do it simultaneously and then go home. Then hit their jets, hit the runway,
dudes and females just wait and let trolls have it.
So that's what's unfolding right now.
This should look real civil.
Minor sticking points as they're ironing out some of the language. They had already sort of settled on $600 in stimulus checks. That is
we'll iron out the language.
Last night, $600 in stimulus checks, and then lo and behold, at the last minute, President Trump, yes, during the conference call, said, I want larger than that stimulus checks. I don't want $600. In fact, I don't even want $1,200. I want $2,000 for everybody. And
dude, I spent 9 hours.
Members of his team said, Mr. President,
365, no days off.
You can't say anything about this.
Constant moderating,
So this is exactly what's unfolding right now.
I'm your guy, trust me.
Threw a wrench
I've
into the
seen
works.
it all.
And White House aides have talked Trump out of last-minute demand for stimulus checks. So you can thank members of the White House right now. You can thank White House officials, aides of the president, for derailing stimulus checks as big as $2,000. Now, President Trump, of course, may be eyeing a run for 2024, and this is, could be just a political ploy. But I don't know. I mean, I think that the president, I will give him the benefit of the doubt on this. I think he, as he mentioned on this conference call with his White House staff and other members of Congress, he said, I'm hearing from so many Americans that are suffering right now, as if this is news.
Right.
Where were you on this leadership months ago, Mr. President? He had said all summer, late in the summer, that what I want is going to be bigger and better than even what the Republicans and what the Democrats want.
They took the advice I gave with them and ran forever with it. Just everybody they met.
Yelling about Joe Biden.
Where you from?
And
Kansas?
Hillary Clinton.
You're one of my moderators.
And being spied on. Whatever else you want to spend your time on Twitter. And playing golf. You could have shown presidential leadership months ago on this issue. So
turn on their stream, it looked like AutoZone.
It's like the person who
nothing but a bunch of rent sets.
You're getting all the work done. I'm sure, David, you've done this too. You're getting everything ready. Everything's ironed out. I'm sure you're getting ready for like a big live stream.
My stream looked like that one, early when I had a whole bunch of them.
I don't like what you.
But we didn't have the YouTube to see who was a moderator. That was back when you streamed. I had a lot of moderators. I had to cut that shit out.
The last minute. No, we can't. Because all the lights are set up, we can't move everything at the last minute, Mr. President.
Too many chiefs, not enough Indians.
So he comes in and the last minute wants to throw a $2,000 bomb into stimulus negotiations. And the White House aides talked him out of it, according to reports. They said, the officials said congressional leadership is preparing a stimulus package that would provide checks of $600 per person. Trump told allies he believes the stimulus payments in the next bill should be at least $1,200 and possibly as big as $2,000. And a lot of people think that this is his way of needling Mitch McConnell, by the way. Because Mitch McConnell, as you know, didn't want any stimulus checks in this proposal until he started seeing what was happening in Georgia. Now, if you don't know what's going on in Georgia, the reason that you will receive stimulus checks is because of Georgia. Like, we can give Bernie Sanders some credit and the Progressive Caucus some credit and Senator Josh Hawley some credit. But ultimately, it's what's going on in Georgia. That's the reason why we're going to see stimulus checks. Because Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue, the incumbent Republicans, are getting hammered, according to Mitch McConnell. Because their party won't support stimulus checks. So on a conference call, these senators who are running in this Georgia runoff election on January 5th were pleading with Mitch McConnell. Basically like, hey, we're getting hammered here. We're going to lose this election unless we have stimulus checks in here. There's no reason for us not to have stimulus checks in this package. That is precisely the reason we even have the $600 one in there. And so I believe in some ways this is President Trump needling Mitch McConnell. He's pissed at Mitch McConnell because McConnell came out earlier this week and congratulated Joe Biden for winning the presidency, turning the page on everything. He called Joe Biden, congratulated him on winning. President Trump did not like he. And so this is what's going on. You know how President Trump is. He's petulant. He's like a child, right? And this is exactly why. So, and there's so many interesting things happening in this Georgia runoff right now. There's a new ad that just rolled out against David Perdue by John Ossoff.
Just want to say hi, hey.
David Perdue is losing.
You got three of my frenemies as moderators.
An ad like this. Watch this. This is
probably safer just inboxing you.
This is one that's going to eviscerate him. Watch. It's going viral right now, by the way.
I'm John Ossoff, and I approve this message.
Why don't we start over?
When this pandemic hit, millions of Georgians like me had to file for unemployment. We needed our senators' help. But for David Perdue, we weren't the priority. Senator Perdue voted to give hundreds of billions to big corporations, even if they lay people off. But he fought against the $1,200 stimulus check for workers and supported cutting our unemployment benefits. Even at a moment like this, David Perdue is there for his donors, but not for us.
I thought they were going to say that about Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, that's...
Mitch's Kentucky senator.
Exactly what I tweeted earlier this morning. Like, that is good. That is a perfect ad right there. Like, here's a voter that supported David Perdue before, and he's saying what's being reflected all over the place, which is these guys are only in favor of getting money out to their big donors and making sure that defense contractors have their money.
If you're a politician.
That's what this is all about. So all the power right now, if we look at, we want to analyze like where all the power in these negotiations sit right now, it all sits with 4 people. Speaker Pelosi, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Senator Schumer, and Kevin McCarthy on the Republican side. That's it. Those 4 driving the negotiations right now. We heard from Mitch McConnell just a short time ago who said negotiations are ongoing. He is optimistic that we will have something soon. Oh, and by the way, we're not going home until we get it done.
But I will say this, Mr. President, in my judgment, we're very close to a point that arises in every major negotiation. It's the point where each side faces a fork in the road.
Turtle boy.
Do we want to lapse into politics as usual and let negotiations lose steam? Do we want to haggle and spar like this with an ordinary political exercise, get wrapped around the axle of language or policy riders that we know are controversial? Or, on the other hand, after months of inaction, do we want to move swiftly and with unusual bipartisanship to close out our issues, seal the deal, and write text that can quickly pass into law? In short, we're near the point in this process where we decide if we're going to stay on the fast track or drift back toward business as usual. I say the answer should be obvious. After all these months, struggling Americans don't just need action. They need action fast.
Oh, yeah. And that's why I waited until the last minute.
Right.
I didn't do anything all summer.
Nope.
Because I'm a turtle, and I cared about judges.
Right.
So now we need to move fast.
Fast.
Fast. Fast. See, I'm moving fast. You can't even see me. I just went home and changed my pants. And I came back. You didn't even see me leave.
So I continue to appreciate our productive discussions, but I hope we also remember just how urgent the situation is for millions and millions of our fellow citizens.
I need to look on my notes because I didn't write these heartfelt words. I had a staff member do it. That's a difference too when you watch a guy like him and then Bernie Sanders is standing there just like riffing because he knows what the pain points are. He doesn't need to reference notes.
Right.
So for the information of all senators, we're going to stay right here, until we're finished, even if that means working through the weekend, which is highly likely. And if we need to further extend the Friday funding deadline before final legislation can pass in both chambers, I hope we'll extend it for a very, very short window of time.
Begging.
Well, we're going to be here on the weekend, and I know that gets in the way of some of your plans, like Senator Mitchell over here. You're going to Chuck E. Cheese this weekend. Well, you're going to have to tell Chucky. You're going to have to wait until next weekend. We got some work to do.
Turtle boys like patrol.
I love these sudden, now we really care about you. Out of the blue, I really care about you.
This was the guy that was
How long
saying
here to care about you. Now suddenly,
no
I do.
stimulus.
Today's the day I care about you.
No stimulus
Yes.
checks. People are getting rich.
Subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber, please. I ask you kindly, and turn on the little bell notification. We do this show every day at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, covering the stories you won't see in mainstream media. They won't cover stories like this because they're too scared and they are bought and sold by big corporations. They're not going to tell you that these big Democrat donors are funneling millions of dollars
Yeah, stand up, Chucky.
to make sure that these Democrats vote a certain way on stimulus. So, you know, earlier this year we covered this story on the stimulus where the Pentagon used taxpayer money that was meant for masks and swabs to make jet engine parts and body armor. So they took stimulus money, these defense contractors, and used it for body armor and jet engine parts because they don't get enough friggin' money from us, these defense contractors. And then, of course, we reported this week, and oh, wow, I didn't see it anywhere. I didn't see it reported in the mainstream media at all about these big donors getting a lot more money and able to get paid leave while you are suffering. So these defense contractors are getting paid time off, and yet you have had paid time off. Or if you want paid time off, you don't get it. But defense contractors do. Oh, but now we're learning about Democrats in this entire process. And as I promised you, I'm an equal opportunity offender because I think both parties are mostly corrupt. And I think there are very few good eggs in the Democratic Party on the progressive side that stand for you in the issues that are important to you, like Medicare for all, and real progressive issues like the environment and free public college, and making sure that you're getting money in your family that's taken care of so you don't have to live on the street and be evicted during a pandemic. Well, there are Democrats now, we learned, or congressional Democrats are raking in huge donations from war profiteers. Over at the Jacobin, Stefan Semler has done a great piece on this, where he dives into exactly how many Democrats are, soaking up millions of dollars in campaign money to basically fund all of these war projects to the tune of millions of dollars. 87% of senators ignored policy preferences of their base. 84% of House members ignored policy preferences of their base in favor of voting for war profiteering companies.
What, you mean they ignored
shoveling more and more money?
They ignored the 70-some% of the Republicans that want Medicare for all, and the 84% of Democrats that want Medicare for all? Are you kidding me?
Imagine that. Imagine that they will throw their money behind the National Defense Authorization Act and funnel billions of dollars to these companies like Boeing, Northrop Grumman, all of these guys that have made billions of dollars, and you get screwed. So when we're quibbling over $1,200 stimulus checks for the American worker, and now it's being dwindled down to $600 because, God forbid, we should give you an extra $600. But these millions of dollars in campaign distributions that came in from the war industry provided $14 million in campaign contributions to House candidates, $6 million to Senate candidates. And you know what's amazing, too, is that the support is a direct line into buying more weapons. So when I hear people blow a whole bunch of garbage, like when I tweet something and I hear someone write back, oh yeah, Clayton, how are we going to do universal basic income for Americans? How are we going to have Medicare for all Americans? How are we going to pay for that? Right here. This is how you pay for it. Cut this crap.
You know what's crazy?
This funding.
What's crazy is they're like, the American people can't double dip. Well, how many dips has the war machine gotten? Like, how many dips are they on?
Quadruple.
I mean, they've got a whole mouthful packed of dip right now. Because, like I just said a few minutes ago, I mean, the fact that these guys are getting money while they get to stay home, paid leave, these defense contractors who work for these big defense companies like Boeing, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, they're getting stimulus money in this new stimulus bill to stay home. If they are an idle worker, they are going to get paid. So they're getting money from us already to the tune of billions of dollars in the national defense budget, and they're getting stimulus money. That's double dipping. And they've already gotten money this year with their own separate stimulus package. And they're stealing money. They're taking money out of money that's allocated for you. The Pentagon used taxpayer money meant for masks and swabs to make jet engine parts and body armor.
Give me 1 second.
They took...
Give me 1 second. Pardon. Yeah, so basically, though, all the politicians are getting M's. And like he said, they just decided to give us 600. Doesn't make sense. Hold on. Again, apologize, but when real life matters, call, gotta answer the call, gotta answer the phone. Give me just another like 2 minutes here. Joe Smith. Joe Smith the Don. Wow, black gentleman, how refreshing. Good morning, sir. Alright, this might just be like a little bit over 2 minutes. Street. Alright, cool. So 2018. All right, I think we're done for now. Back to it.
Pandemic-related money and gave it to defense contractors.
Yeah, but Clayton, once we give them our money, it's theirs to do whatever they want with. So I don't know why we're complaining. Like, we just give it to them, you know. And if we don't pay our taxes, I mean, we go to jail. And so, like, why is it our decision what they do with our money? Oh, come on.
I'm just going to backtrack a bit.
After all these months, struggling Americans don't just need action.
Too much.
They need action.
Mainstream media at all about these big donors getting a lot more money and able to get paid leave
Swiftly and with unusual bipartisanship to close out our issues, seal the deal, and write text that can quickly pass into law. In short, we're near the point in this process where we decide if we're going to stay on the fast track or drift back toward business as usual. I'll say the answer should be obvious. After all these months, struggling Americans don't just need action. They need action fast.
Oh, yeah. And that's why I waited until the last minute. I didn't do anything all summer because I'm a turtle and I cared about judges. So now we need to move fast.
Fast.
Fast. Fast. See, I'm moving fast. You can't even see me. I just went home and changed my pants. And I came back. You didn't even see me leave.
So I continue to appreciate our productive discussions, but I hope we also remember just how urgent the situation is for millions and millions of our fellow citizens.
I need to look on my notes because I
Non-productive
didn't write these
conversation.
heartfelt words. I had a staff member do it. That's a difference too when you watch a guy like him and then Bernie Sanders is standing there just like riffing because he knows what the pain points are. He doesn't need to reference notes.
So for the information of all senators, we're going to stay right here, until we're finished, even if that means working through the weekend, which is highly likely. And if we need to further extend the Friday funding deadline before final legislation can pass in both chambers, we'll extend it for a very, very short window of time.
Well, we're going to be here on the weekend, and I know that gets in the way of some of your plans, like Senator Mitchell over here. You're going to Chuck E. Cheese this weekend. Well, you're going to have to tell Chucky. You're going to have to wait till next weekend. We got some work to do.
Turtle
And Senator McCarthy.
boys like the Trump.
I love these. Now we really care about you. Out of the blue, I really care about you. Had all year to care about you. Now suddenly I do. Today's the day I care about you. The guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber, please. I ask you kindly, and turn on the little bell notification. We do this show every day at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, covering the stories you won't see in the mainstream media. They won't cover stories like this because they're too scared and they are bought and sold by big corporations. They're not going to tell you that these big Democrat donors are funneling millions of dollars to make sure that these Democrats vote a certain way on stimulus. So, you know, earlier this year we covered this story on the stimulus where the Pentagon used taxpayer money that was meant for masks and swabs to make jet engine parts and body armor. So they took stimulus money, these defense contractors, and used it for body armor and jet engine parts because they don't get enough friggin' money from us, these defense contractors. And then, of course, we reported this week, and oh, wow, I didn't see it anywhere. I didn't see it reported in the mainstream media at all about these big donors getting a lot more money and able to get paid leave while you are suffering. So these defense contractors are getting paid time off, and yet you have had paid time off. Or if you want paid time off, you don't get it. But defense contractors do. Oh, but now we're learning about Democrats in this entire process. And as I promised you, I'm an equal opportunity offender because I think both parties are mostly corrupt. And I think there are very few good eggs in the Democratic Party on the progressive side that stand for you in the issues that are important to you, like Medicare for all, and real progressive issues like the environment and free public college, and making sure that you're getting money in your family that's taken care of so you don't have to live on the street and be evicted during the pandemic. Well, there are Democrats now, we learned. Our congressional Democrats are raking in huge donations from war profiteers. Over at the Jacobin, Stefan Semler has done a great piece on this. where he dives into exactly how many Democrats are, soaking up millions of dollars in campaign money to basically fund all of these war projects to the tune of millions of dollars. 87% of senators ignored policy preferences of their base. 84% of House members ignored policy preferences of their base in favor of voting for war profiteering companies.
What, you mean they ignored
shoveling more and more money?
They ignored the 70-some% of the Republicans that want Medicare for all, and the 84% of Democrats that want Medicare for all? Are you kidding me?
Imagine that. Imagine that they will throw their money behind the National Defense Authorization Act and funnel billions of dollars to these companies like Boeing, Northrop Grumman, all of these guys that have made billions of dollars, and you get screwed. So when we're quibbling over $1,200 stimulus checks for the American worker, and now it's being dwindled down to $600 because, God forbid, we should give you an extra $600. But these millions of dollars in campaign distributions that came in from the war industry provided $14 million in campaign contributions to House candidates, $6 million to Senate candidates. And you know what's amazing, too, is that the support is a direct line into buying more weapons. So when I hear people blow a whole bunch of garbage, like when I tweet something and I hear someone write back, oh yeah, Clayton, how are we going to do universal basic income for Americans? How are we going to have Medicare for all Americans? How are we going to pay for that? Right here. This is how you pay for it. Cut this crap.
You know what's crazy?
This funding.
What's crazy is they're like, the American people can't double dip. Well, how many dips has the war machine gotten? Like, how many dips are they on?
I mean, they've got a whole mouthful packed of dip right now. Because, like I just said a few minutes ago, I mean, the fact that these guys are getting money while they get to stay home, paid leave, these defense contractors who work for these big defense companies like Boeing, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, they're getting stimulus money in this new stimulus bill to stay home. If they are an idle worker, they are going to get paid. So they're getting money from us already to the tune of billions of dollars in the national defense budget, and they're getting stimulus money. That's double dipping. And they've already gotten money this year with their own separate stimulus package. And they're stealing money. They're taking money out of money that's allocated for you. The Pentagon used taxpayer money meant for masks and swabs to make jet engine parts and body armor. They took pandemic-related money and gave it to defense contractors.
Yeah, but Clayton, once we give them our money, it's theirs to do whatever they want with, so I don't know why we're complaining. Like, we just give it to them, you know? And if we don't pay our taxes, I mean, we go to jail. And so, like, why is it our decision what they do with our money? Oh, come on.
Come on, man.
And Mitch McConnell, you know, that money you're talking about, David, I mean, there's that money set aside that was part of the Stimulus CARES Act that didn't get used. Stephen Mnuchin pulled it aside. Mitch McConnell took to the floor of the Senate yesterday and said, you know, there's $400 billion that we set aside from the CARES Act. We're going to use that in this new round of stimulus. Money that was allocated for businesses and business loans, we're going to pull that now and probably give it to defense contractors. They've already allocated it. How are they going to pull that back? Well, they need another act of Congress. They need another bill. So all of these Democrats, there's a lot of Democrats, my friends, don't be fooled by this, who are happy to rake in millions of dollars from the war machine.
And what's absolutely crazy about this is there's no argument. You don't see them on the Senate floor arguing this one. You don't see any uprising like, oh, we can't afford this. This is crazy. Like, nobody. But with the pandemic stuff, it's like, yeah, with that, it's like, oh man, $600, maybe $300. I mean, maybe we can get them $1,200. It's like over very little money they're arguing, but this is billions of dollars, and it's like, here you go.
And one way for us to stop it is to point out the class warfare in all of this. That when we spend billions of dollars building jets that we don't need, aircraft carriers to blow up other countries, nuclear submarines that we don't need, it hurts us at home. And if we could have some members of Congress with balls get up there and say, no, I'm not going to vote for any more of this ridiculous military warcraft. I'm done. Until we get the social programs funded here at home. The fact that every few years we're talking about how Social Security is about to be emptied, our schools are crumbling, our internet service across the country is terrible. Estonia, the country of us, Estonia has better internet than we do. Rwanda has better internet infrastructure than we do. Rwanda, which was in the middle of a genocide just a few years ago, is better than America. Transportation. Have you ever been to Europe and seen, or Japan, and seen their train system? Have you ever been on a train in America?
Heck, go to the bathroom in Japan.
Yeah, go to the bathroom in Europe. Go to the bathroom in Japan. They're clean as a whistle. Go to the bathroom. I dare you to go to the bathroom at an Amtrak station at Penn Station in New York City. It's the worst.
But you got bidets and everything in Japan?
Yeah, they have heated toilets in Japan. Oh, and by the way, they just passed another stimulus. And they're covering 100% of your wages in Japan right now if you lost your job. Oh, and they have health care on top of it all. Again, greatest country in the world, my ass. 70% of Lockheed Martin's total revenue came from Pentagon contracts in 2019. Did you hear me? 70% came from you.
Well, and
they're also stealing your stimulus money.
And a lot of people don't realize already that I think it's 55% of our taxes that we pay to our government every year goes to the military. 55% or more.
So until we start making Americans aware of that number, like that 55% number, until the left, the progressives who watch this show, I have a phone number in the video right here in the show description for you to call your member of Congress. Call them. Take action. It takes you 5 minutes to give them a phone call or send them an email. Demand that they pass stimulus for the American people. And tell your member of Congress that you want to stop them spending money on this national defense budget. And start spending it on social programs that matter to you and your community.
That is the move.
Medicare for all. These types of big issues.
That's what a lot of people are doing.
I don't want to read headlines like this anymore.
Calling the congressmen,
taxpayer money
senators,
for masks and swabs to make jet engine parts. You're not getting enough friggin' money already from us? It's infuriating. It's infuriating. Americans don't know about it because MSNBC, all of the big networks, CNN, they won't tell you this story. All they have are military analysts who spend half their time on their airways.
Well, and a lot.
David and I, you and I talked a few months ago about how back in the 70s, of course, there was that covert operation to try to put members of the military inside of news organizations so that they would write pro-military stories. It was a covert operation to put like the CIA and members of the military in the New York Times, in the major broadcast networks, NBC and CBS, others. They don't do that anymore. Now they get a contract and they get hired to be on the air as a military analyst. I dare you, I don't want you to do this because I really do feel bad for your brain if you do this, but if you watch CNN tonight just spend 2 hours watching it. You can just put it on mute if you want, because I don't encourage you to do that. Watch how many military analysts they bring on their shows. We wanted, joining us now is General blah 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 to talk about this new weapon that Russians have, and they're going to get on there and talk about how we need to have more of war programs and spend more money on our military. That's what they do. So CNN, all of these big national companies now, these big billionaire-run news networks, that's what they focus on.
Well, and also think about it, most people do not pay attention to what's going on in the Congress and Senate because we're having this argument over stimulus and everything, but what people don't realize is all the bills that pass in the secret of night, like that nobody talks about it, and they're passing stuff like this with our money And nobody knows, because nobody holds them accountable. There's no media investigating. Why did you just give this, this contractor this much money of the American people's money? Nobody's holding them accountable, and it's just like they're just passing these bills, and we don't even know about it.
And I respect him, man.
There's very few news organizations that will do some coverage. That's why I wanted to make sure when they do.
It's not like he's a conspiracist theorist or anything like that. This guy used to work for the news. He like straight up. He's met with all the people that he's talking about. He's somebody that he went rogue, and now he's doing his own thing, and I respect that. All right. Yeah, General blah blah blah.
Like the Jacobin, JacobinMag.com, done some great reporting on this. There's some other news organizations like The Intercept and others that will cover these stories. We cover it here on the show, but a lot of news organizations won't. You're not going to see this in the New York Times. You're not going to see this on MSNBC. You're not going to see this. You're not going to see this on all those conservative, news networks.
And when they
You're not going to see this on OAN or Newsmax or any of that.
When Ed Schultz covered Bernie Sanders, he got fired and had to go to RT. Like if you do push against, like Cenk Uygur, that happened to him. He was on MSNBC and he was asking hard questions of politicians. They're like, hey, you can't do that here. And he got fired. So even the people that have a conscience and decide, I'm going to do the right thing, they won't last at those places.
Be a blackball.
No. So thank you for supporting independent journalism by supporting this show and becoming a channel member, which you can do just by going to morninginvest.com/join. And we're live every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and it doesn't cost you anything. So as long as you keep watching, we will keep doing the show. And I will spend the hours that I put in every day researching and bringing these stories to you so that you can bring them to your family and hold your members of Congress accountable. These are the changes we want in this country. We want Medicare for all. We want free public college. We want us to get out of these foreign wars. You know what? One way Joe Biden could immediately pay for some of these programs is to get rid of this ridiculous Space Force. I mean, what a load of garbage this is. We create an entire new wing of the military now. I mean, even Netflix had a show. Was it Netflix or was it Apple TV that created the Steve Carell Space Force show that, was literally made almost in tandem with the actual Space Force, and it wasn't meant to be, they came up with that name independently of even knowing that Trump was going to create a Space Force. Billions of dollars for a Space Force.
That was Netflix. I actually liked that show. I thought it was funny. It didn't get very good ratings, but I liked it.
I like Project Blue Book by History Channel.
So get rid of Space Force or dwindle that friggin' thing down. It's called NASA. We already have a space program, right?
Well, that's SpaceX.
What do we need this for?
They're doing better than NASA.
Right.
And that's not even us.
I mean, give me a break. I mean, what are we worried about? Fighting China on the moon? So it's not enough now that we're fighting them in the South China Sea. Now we need to fight over mineral rights on the moon?
Hey, I would like to see an anti-gravity.
We can't even fix our roads.
I'd like to see an anti-gravity fight, though. That would be interesting.
They're just floating around in a space chamber. Yeah.
Shooting Nerf bullets.
Ender's Game. Yeah. I mean, for crying out
loud. With the factor of that supposing to be something that was supposed to happen, Trump was going to expose all of them. I was sitting and wait for that too. I mentioned earlier, I've listened to all sides. I've listened to Joe Biden supporters, Trump supporters, Andrew Young, Bernie Mac, so forth and so on, supporters of just, neutralists, of just, humanity. But, funny, I did see something in the news yesterday, on Said Matters. Who is it? I think it's not the president. Somebody's one of their high-ranking Canadian fashion fashion mogul designer, one of the big fashion people, Canadian dude. They brought him in for sex trafficking, being like all the way being a part of it. So they reached out to Canada. I thought that was a bit odd, but there's that. But as far as what we were expecting, I said that to one of my Trump supporters, one of my friends is a Trump supporter, whatever. Recently, that I haven't seen anything. There was supposed to be this big exposure list, all that from the island, so forth. They got homegirl caught up. She trying to post $2.1 something million bail or some shit like that. I don't know, but yeah, that kind of fizzled out. But it all summarizes to the fact that we're in a sad state of affairs for the reality of everything that is. COVID, that situation, everything. Just the path that we've been on, like what we're hearing here. Most don't. They said that. That's true. Most don't keep up with what Congress and Senate are doing. No. And then our interest is, okay, where are the provisions? Where's the relief? Where's the cavalry at? Because y'all told us, hey, shit, level orange, go inside. All right. Wear these masks, stay safe, and stay tuned. We got you. 9 months later, enough time to have a baby, they're just talking about, oh, well, we need a little bit more time. Meanwhile, back at their accounts, Jesus, over this amount of time, how much have they made? Everybody want to pull Trump's tax records. Just start pulling Congress members and senators and mayors, see what they did over the pandemic. Huh? How can a man, Mitch McConnell, Senator of Kentucky, how can he advocate not to give people money, but through the pandemic relief, the PPP program, or the paycheck protection payment program, he took millions for his business, whatever that is, whatever business he got. He took millions and fired the majority of his people as well. He pulled one of those moves. So, and just like they're saying, you really don't need to look at today for what's going on. I mean, you do, but you don't need to look to today to see anything, to get the true brunt of reality. Every other time that there was a pandemic of any sort, they went to the rescue of big businesses. They never did anything for the people. Ever. When was the last time? Really. I'll wait. Right. Like we're all doing. We'll wait. Them? Oh, there's no wait, man. Express this, express that, all while over, having a good, expensive espresso. And all of our money that they tax us for collectively funds that. There's things I could say that I won't, because then I'd be, flagged for inciting. We're just gonna put insight on insight. That's all. But today's supposed to be today. Yesterday, every Thursday they get their update report of how bad things are. And so yesterday they found out things are really, really bad. And why they came up with half of what they gave people 9 months ago is beyond me. But, I don't know. Oh, that's right. It's a down payment. That's Joe Biden's words. So while there's a big celebration that, you know, Trump's out of office, Joe Biden's in, whatever the case, I still don't see a difference at all. Nothing. But back to it. Finish this up.
We're worried about battling the Chinese now in space, so we need a space force. And yet we have potholes. We have people's drinking water in Pennsylvania that they can't drink because there's fracking next door.
Space Force, a stellar force for good.
Space Force. Oh my God. And that's how we increase the military budget. We're creating Space Force so Biden can eliminate that piece of crap pretty quickly. Put those into social programs that matter for Americans. The fact that we're like quibbling over $2,000 stimulus checks right now. So if you're just tuning in on the stimulus front, President Trump nearly blew up negotiations yesterday by telling aides that he wants $2,000 in stimulus checks. And he said he wants them at least to be $1,200. But his aides said, whoa, Mr. President, you got to walk that back. They're almost done with their negotiations. You can't kind of come in now at the last minute and throw a bomb into the mix. My theory is that President Trump loves to needle the press, and he can't stand Mitch McConnell because Mitch McConnell came out and threw his support behind President-elect Biden and gave him a phone call and a congratulatory phone call. So how can President Trump on his way out burn the place down? Here you go. Say that you really want big stimulus checks. Oh, Mitch, what are you going to do about it now, little buddy? What are you going to do about it, little turtle boy?
Make it happen.
What are you going to do?
Our citizens can't afford for us to get bogged down in the back and forth.
I've got so much energy, I can barely keep my pants on. I really want stimulus checks. He doesn't want anything for you. And the only reason he does is because of what's unfolding in Georgia, as we mentioned. And I want to play this again because the two Republican senators in Georgia that are running in this runoff election are getting hammered. And on a conference call just yesterday, Mitch McConnell said that we need to put stimulus checks into this bill because David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler are getting their asses handed to them in Georgia right now because they don't have a stimulus package. So that's the only reason. And now we hear $600, and that's already being negotiated for Mitch McConnell. And then President Trump jumps in and just wants to needle Mitch McConnell right now. I mean, I know this guy well. You know, I've interviewed President Trump over 25, maybe 30 times. He's a master of the media in this way. He knows that this is going to be the headline. He knows that. He doesn't care at all about Mitch McConnell now that he's leaving and he's burning the place down. So for him calling for $2,000 stimulus checks, this is exactly what he's doing, is needling Mitch McConnell. Am I wrong? Tell me in the chat if I'm wrong. Give me another theory on this. David, put one up on the screen. If someone has a different theory on this, I'd love to hear it. Because you know that President Trump doesn't give a rat's behind. He's doing it just to play politics and to needle Mitch McConnell. That's it. Trina says everyone needs $1,200 checks.
But if
Yes,
it
they do,
works,
Trina.
You know what's sad to
we're
me?
the benefactors.
What's sad to me is they have pushed this and pushed this and pushed this so much that and the number kept getting lower that people are going to be celebrate $1,200 checks when that is a smack in the face.
Yeah, you're right.
Been saying that for months.
It's a total slap in the face. I mean, Bernie Sanders was calling for $2,000 per month in universal basic income till we got out of this pandemic, like the other countries are doing. Bernie Sanders. Canada's doing it. Japan is giving their citizens $2,000 a month. We've got to give money to the American people. I'm working on my Bernie Sanders. You better have had a gray patches over here and bald. But he'd been calling for it, and retroactive, by the way, back till March as part of the Emergency Money for the People Act.
March.
Yes, $2,000 a month is what we should be doing. But instead, we're doing this little peanuts thing where we're having to like grovel. We're like, please, Mitch McConnell, can you please give us $1,200? Please?
Yeah, because of course, if you see 300, 600, $1,200 on the table. I mean, which one are you going to want? You're going to want the most. But it's like they're starting from a compromised position. They're starting with a compromised amount.
They're the master negotiators.
Yep. That's why I've been calling for it. $2,000 a month. Up in Vermont, where we are, the food lines everywhere. And the leadership in the Senate. So that's where he's getting obliterated down in Georgia, is David Perdue, because he's supporting big business. He's been supporting making sure that big donors get money, but the American people are not. Here is the ad. I want to show this ad. If you joined us late, it's so good. And this is why David Perdue is being eviscerated right now, and why we have stimulus checks as part of this package. Watch.
I'm John Ossoff, and I approve this message.
When this pandemic hit, millions of Georgians like me had to file for unemployment. We needed our senator's help. But for David Perdue, we weren't the priority. Senator Perdue voted to give hundreds of billions to big corporations, even if they lay people off. But he fought against the $1,200 stimulus check for workers and supported cutting our unemployment benefits. Even at a moment like this, David Perdue is there for his donors, but not for us.
Again, ouch. True, though. You know, I think the best ads are the ones that are true, right? Not the ones where they're like, back in Vietnam, David Perdue, you know, whatever, making crap up, you know, or drawing these. This is true. He supported cutting unemployment benefits and also not having a stimulus check. So the reason we have a stimulus check now is because Mitch McConnell is going along with this, and also Senator Josh Hawley from Missouri. So Senator Hawley was asked about this just a short time ago. Would he support additional $1,200? Because he said he was going to come to the Senate floor. He was going to come to the Senate floor if we did not get $1,200 stimulus checks in this. He was going to come to the floor of the Senate and pass and put forth a standalone stimulus checks bill of $1,200. He, along with Bernie Sanders. So right now it's kind of up in the air. But he did say on CBS this morning that that's exactly what he plans to do. Or he might. He's got to wait to see the bill here. Let's listen.
Is to get assistance into the hands of working families and working people. These are the folks who should be first in line for COVID relief, not last. They shouldn't be an afterthought. Working people have borne the brunt of this pandemic, and they need direct support. And I'm willing to do everything I can, everything in my power to make sure that they get it.
So the pushback from members of your own party as well as Democrats is that the current bill, the $748 billion bill, already includes targeted payments, relief for rent, for hunger, for joblessness, and what you're talking about is expensive and goes to everybody as opposed to just the particular people in need. What's your response to that?
Well, first of all, working people are in need. And when you see the people, the lines of folks lining up for food support, trying to get help paying their rent, making their car payments. I just talked to a young mother in St. Louis with two boys who said that she can either keep making her car payments or else she can do something for her kids for Christmas. She can't do all of it. And this story is being repeated over and over and over. The need for food, for instance, is through the roof in my state. Demand for food up 50% in food banks. Here's the point, Tony. Working people are in need. We're not talking about giving checks to everybody, for heaven's sakes. We're talking about working families. We're talking about those who have borne the brunt of the pandemic. And the quickest way to get them help and relief is to get them direct support, is to give them a check like we did in March.
So then here's...
Zillerist says on our screen, there's an obvious disdain for working people. Yeah. The backbone of our entire economy. You know, 70% of our GDP is fueled by working class individuals. And when you spend money, that helps the overall economy. When you produce goods and services, that helps the overall economy. And yet, who do we reward? It's hard to say. Say that 5 times fast. Who do we reward? We reward billionaires. I saw a segment the other day on CNBC where they were just like fawning. They had this billionaire on, and they were just like fawning over him the whole segment. And they were just like, what's it like to be you? And you can tell, like, the narrative of, like, watching, like, CNBC is that they care about stock market guys, day traders, Wall Street, billionaires. What's it like to be rich? Tell me. And this was a dude asking a dude, by the way.
Rich girls vote for Trump.
Vote for Trump. We don't need. I'm not gonna play that song.
That has been in my head.
I played that song last week. David texted me later in the afternoon. He's like, "No, please, no, not that song. It's awful. It's awful." But this. Josh Hawley's right. So he's going to bring forward. We have breaking news from Josh Hawley just a few minutes ago. He is now. He says, "I'm going to go to the Senate floor to ask for an up or down vote on my bill to provide a direct payment of $1,200 to working Americans, $2,400 for couples, $500 for kids. This is the COVID relief working families need." So he is going to bring this up for a vote. I think a little bit of good cop, bad cop is playing out here. Mitch McConnell maybe does want more stimulus. Who the heck knows? But you've got President Trump kind of throwing his hat in the mix on this, calling for $2,000 now, and you've got Senator Josh Hawley saying, "You know what? Let's push for $1,200. I'm going to bring it up for a floor vote." Bernie Sanders also. And now Mitch McConnell can go back to his caucus and say, "You know what? My hands are tied here. We got to pass this, or we're having a government shutdown." And we'll see if Ted Cruz and Rand Paul and these other guys actually move on this. But, this inertia is moving this way. And let me tell you, folks, what's happening right now with evictions is bad. And landlords should be ashamed of themselves. How many of you right now are facing eviction? How many of you right now watching this show live are behind on your rent? Landlords should be ashamed of themselves because what they're doing is getting creative now with these evictions. Under the CDC guidelines, eviction moratoriums are in place. If people have fallen on hard times because of COVID, well, guess what landlords are doing now? They're getting creative, and they're going around the CDC guidelines and basically making stuff up. They're evicting people for things like noise violations. And, "Oh, you have a pet? But I already knew you had a pet. But now I'm going to write it up as if I didn't know you had a pet." Health violations. "Oh, you kind of don't keep the house as clean as I'd like you to keep it, so I'm writing up a health violation. And that's the reason I'm going to evict you." And they're winning in court. Here's one woman. This is heartbreaking. Here's a woman who has had her hours cut. She's lost her job. She's behind on her rent. And she's got a family to feed, and she's now facing eviction.
Since August. There are no options. Right now, the homeless shelters are all closed to new people because the pandemic, obviously, and I don't have a vehicle for me to even sleep in.
So she's having to think about sleeping in a car. And the homeless shelters are full. And this guy can live with himself? How can this guy live with himself? How can any of these people that don't vote for this live with themselves? She has no options. Now she received a letter where she's being sued for eviction.
This is really an epidemic during this pandemic that people are facing that I don't think a lot of people realize.
So she's received a letter basically saying she's being kicked out for other reasons, not related to CDC guidelines, but, there's been noise violations. Yeah. Does she look like she's having big parties every night with her little girl? They don't care. The only way to make them care is to put people in place that do care. That's it. There's no more trying to convince these corporate elites that run our government. The system will not change until we get people in there who make a difference. Progressive candidates who push for change.
I don't know if you've seen any of the news.
Who will not be bought and sold by these people.
I don't know if you've seen any of the news out of Portland, Oregon, but there's been, police going to places to try to do evictions, and people have actually been throwing rocks and keeping the police back from putting these people out on the streets, like putting up fences, barricades, and stuff on their own. It's people fighting the police to keep people in their homes. And it's and what's crazy to me is that, I can understand, keeping the law, but like if I was a cop, there's no way I could kick a family out of their home. I could not do it. Like, how disconnected from humanity would you have to be able to go up and do that?
They do it all the time.
Right, and you'd have to come home at the end of the day. "Honey, what did you do today?" "Well, I worked for the sheriff's office. I had to go to another person's house today, throw them out on the street." I had to get all of their stuff and put it out on the street. Change the locks. And I had to make sure that person left the premises. And by the way, they have 24 hours to come back and pick up this stuff, or it's going in a dumpster. Yeah, their couch, their kids' toys. That's what's happening. So, if we're going to see stimulus here, it'll happen in the next few hours. It'll probably happen either later today or first thing tomorrow as these deadlines approach for tonight. They're going to extend the government shutdown past this evening, which happens at midnight. Right now, the Congress faced a deadline, and they're sitting on this. I'm not sure whether or not they're going to pass this extension or not. Maybe they could come to the table here in the next few hours and get this done. I'll be watching it closely all afternoon for you, and we'll be back here live later with more on this. House and Senate leaders right now still negotiating at this hour, $900 billion bill that would be attached to the $1.4 trillion spending bill through September 2021 to keep the government open and operating. They hope to pass both of them all at one time. According to Jake Sherman right now, all of the power is centralized with 4 players. Speaker Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Kevin McCarthy. President Trump has continued his mastery of Congress by nearly blowing up the negotiations by trying to push in $2,000 stimulus checks at the last possible minute. Meanwhile, all these senators are walking around clueless. All these guys don't know what's in the bill. We have not seen a text of the bill. So according to reports this morning, these senators have no idea what to expect or when to expect it. So there's all these senators like just kind of hanging out in the halls, walking back and forth, that are not a part of this negotiation. They're being kept in the dark about it so they don't leak information about it. They're killing time by voting on more executive branch nominations right now. So President Trump continues to put up nominations for people. Like, Trump has been firing people, and now they have to fill these positions for the next 3 weeks while they're in. It's ridiculous. Talk about a waste of government energy right now. You're firing all of these people. And Senator Mitch McConnell says everyone will stay in Washington, D.C. through the weekend if they have to get this done. They will not be flying home. They will be negotiating until they get this done. All of this is coming to a head. While jobless numbers came out just a short time ago, I want to show you the new jobless numbers this morning. These are atrocious. These are the continued jobless claims in the United States. A new round of 885,000. And look at the hardest hit areas are in dark blue across the country. Georgia, look at Georgia in dark blue. And here that's not good for incumbents, by the way, in Georgia. Like, you're running for a runoff election in Georgia, and your state is in dark blue with hundreds of thousands of people losing their jobs. And you won't vote for stimulus checks, David Perdue? Hawaii, all the way up in blue, dark blue. Pick a state. Very few states looking good right now. The states that are looking halfway decent have a lower population density, by the way. Montana. But not New Jersey. Actually, New Jersey's doing fairly well, a little bit better. But still up 100% from last year in New Jersey, the most populous state by per capita in the country. This is an absolute mess. So, a little bit later here, and actually, what about 7 minutes, guys, if you're watching right now? I want you to subscribe to our channel right now. All you have to do right down here in the lower corner, tap on the little Santa hat and subscribe, and turn on the little bell notification. And we've got over 10,000 of you watching right now, so thank you so much for supporting independent journalism and being a part of our great community here, covering the stories you won't see on MSNBC, Fox, any of the other big channels, because they're too scared to do it. We'll tell you the truth on this channel. Coming up in about 6 minutes, we will have a live premiere of our new video on Medicare for All. I want you to watch. Come, all 10,000 of you, come on over. We're going to watch it together in the chat. I will be in the chat hanging out with you. David will be there as well. And this is all of the news on Medicare for All and how we can demand members of Congress call for a floor vote. Get a floor vote and don't put Nancy Pelosi back in power. Nancy Pelosi will be renominated as Speaker of the House at the beginning of January. And this is an opportunity for members of Congress to call on leadership right now. Call on a floor vote. Have a floor vote on Medicare for all. Force the hand of these members of Congress to show us your true colors. Do you support health care for every human being in America? How many of you watching right now support health care for all human beings in America? Do you think we should have health care? Insane Angel, yes, I will update you tonight. Even on a Friday night, I will do it for you on the stimulus. How many of you, let me know in the chat right now, would support universal health care in this country? And don't give me the question, well, how would we pay for it? I've already showed you how we would pay for it. By eliminating this kind of crap. Instead of funneling billions of dollars for the war machine, why don't we instead start funneling money to programs that help keep us safe and secure and fed and protected like other nations around the world? You know, like we talked about earlier, 55% of our taxpayer dollars go to fund wars and the military. Even if we took 5% of that, 10% of that, we could provide universal health care for all Americans. So we are about to have our premiere here in just a few minutes. Come on over and click on, what do you have to do, David, to be a part of that?
I pinned the link in the comments, so the link is at the top of the comment section, you guys, for the premiere, and then
Again, I listen to him every morning, 9 o'clock. Morning Invest. You know, good food for thought, good information, good stuff to digest. You know, as far as not being fed lies and, you know, misdirection. Additionally, you know, all pans out at the right time. That's my 2 cents over 2 hours. Glad you got some information from it, found it informative. I mean, I wasn't using clickbait or nothing. It was all my intent. I've been doing this throughout for a while, months, and I just never shared it with y'all, if y'all will. Sat in and listened on the joint. But yeah, on one of the days that it seriously matters most, today, I need to see, you know, a lot of people need, and we want what we need to get done. For being enlightened. Hey, knowledge is power, man. And empowering each other is what I've always been about. You know, for the better of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Versus, you know, I'm always about building versus destroying. And we could destroy some shit, no doubt, but you know, rather build. So, I don't care, you know, the age, the mindset, the culture, the background, knowledge is for all. And I'm pretty sure that this, you know, this information tunes to 90-something% of us. So, there you have it. Going on 11 for me. All good. Again, 2 hours. Nobody got to talk. Last shut the fuck up. No problems. Thank God it's Friday. Made it. Say the trolls were asleep. Good. Or whatever. Well, they sat and listened on some things too. That's what's up. But, man, much appreciated to everybody pulling up. You know the vibes. It was good to see y'all all. Yeah. If you haven't, hit the little heart, show a little love, get a lot in return. Catch you on the next one. And in the meantime, all that, stay safe, stay smart, stay up. Enjoy your day. You know? There's light at the end of every tunnel. Even when there isn't, you end up, you know, you gotta drill your way out. You gotta mine your way out. We'll do that. Roger that. Peace, people.